Um, yes, I just noticed my clock is wrong. It is 6 o'clock on Friday night. I wanted to come on and say hello, and I did one other live before, and I really enjoyed it. So my name is Tina. I am 54 years old, and I come on to social media to share my journey. And my journey is pretty relatable. Probably more people than you know on the same journey, or should be on the same journey as I am. So it's pretty exciting for me to come on and share it and share what I know and what I've learned the hard way, right? I learned the hard way, so you don't have to. So what I did learn is that I did learn last year in June that I am a diabetic, was a diabetic. I was a type 2 diabetic in June. And June of 25, I learned that my A1C was double. So it's supposed to be 5.7, and it was 11.5. So I was almost double what I'm supposed to be. And it was a scary time, right? I went to my doctor's just for a normal physical. I didn't go for anything special. It was literally just to go for a physical. Had my blood work done the day before, a couple days before, and I went in there, and the doctor said, listen, you are diabetic, right? A1C is 11.5, you're a diabetic. And so she told me what I have to do was I have to go to CVS and pick up my prescriptions, right? Fill my pill thing, and that's the only thing I can do. She said my only option was to pick up pills and a shot, and that was the only thing I was going to do. And what bothered me was she said, after you do that, you can come back in 90 days, because you can do your blood work every 90 days. Come back in 90 days and you will up your medication. So that kind of bugged me. I was thinking, I thought, call me old fashioned, but I thought when you have medication, it's so you get better. So you don't have to go back and have it again, right? So I thought that was a weird thing for her to say, but whatever. So I told her that I didn't think I really wanted to do that. I wasn't sure, I think when she told me she was going to up my medication, I was thinking this just sounds like a product for disaster. So I don't think I wanted to do that. And she said, well, okay, listen, if you don't go pick up your medication, the only options you're going to have is you're going to lose your eyesight, you're going to lose your limbs, lose your limbs, which diabetics have that happen. I'm going to go blind. I'm going to lose my limbs. My organs were going to shut down, and I was going to lose my memory, because type 3 diabetes is dementia, right? So you get insulin resistance in your brain, and you get dementia, right? So that's what she told me was going to happen if I didn't go back and pick up the medication at CVS, which is our local pharmacy. If I didn't pick up that medication, that I was going to become that was all I was going to do. I was going to go blind, blah, 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 right? So I wasn't really interested in that. I told her I really didn't think that's what I wanted to do. I told her that I really wanted to think about it. And, she's a doctor. I like my doctor, but that's what she said. She said, if you don't, it's me, Tina. So Tina, my name is Tina Noble. I am from Massachusetts, and I am sharing my journey, my health journey, to going from a diabetic to a non-diabetic naturally. That's what it is, basically, Ronnie. So thank you very much for stopping by. So anyway, so I went to the doctors. I didn't feel sick. I thought I was fine, and she had said, you're a diabetic, and that's the only options that you have. And that was in June of last year. So it's been about 9 months. Hi, Purple. There. Thank you so much for coming in, Ronnie. I really appreciate you coming in. If you have any questions, please put them in there. I'm new to the whole YouTube live. I'm a little nervous, so be kind. But I just want to share my live because I hope it can help somebody, right? That's why I do that. But I appreciate you being here. I think that it's exciting for me to share my story because it's relatable. I don't know how old you are, but it's very relatable what my story is. So anyway, so I went to the doctors. She said, you are, that's pretty awesome. Thank you, Gorilla Guy. I appreciate that. So she said, you're a type 2 diabetic. Your only option is medication. I didn't want to do that. So that was 9 months ago, a little over 9 months ago. And so the first thing that I did was I came home. I pouted. I was very upset with myself for putting myself in that position that to become a diabetic when like I said, I didn't feel sick. I had signs, and I'm going to go over symptoms of like your insulin resistance. My doctor didn't say anything about insulin resistance. She just said, you're a diabetic, you take medications, and we'll up it later, right? So she didn't talk about insulin resistance, so I didn't know. She didn't talk about what I ate. All she did tell me was to eat 6 small meals a day and to eat less and move more. That was it. And again, I like my doctor as a person. I just feel like I didn't have that much time with her, to discuss things like that. So no, not at all, Ronnie. I want you to ask questions. So I found out at 53 that I was a diabetic, right? So that was last year. I found out. So I was 53 years old when I found out I was a diabetic. Leading up to it, she did say like your A1C is getting a little bit higher, each time. But ignorantly, I didn't know. I thought diabetes was hereditary. I just didn't know. Right now I know, but I thought diabetes was hereditary. Nobody in my family had it, so I'm not going to get it, right? It was me being ignorant. I understand that. And I also understand that I thought, well, it's not going to happen to me, right? So, and I also thought, well, I'll just lose a little weight, drink some more water, and everything's going to be fine. So I didn't realize. So basically, the answer to your question, and no, it's not too personal. Unfortunately, I am very comfortable sharing what I'm going through because I want to help somebody else. Right. So it does. It does. So diabetes will give you signs for 10 years, right? So I had signs, but I wasn't a diabetic, like labeled a diabetic until June of last year. So you're absolutely right, Ronnie. It starts when they're younger. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it starts when they're younger, right? So I had signs. I had the skin tags, I had brain fog, I had eczema, I had neuropathy, I had PCOS, I had IBS, I had all of these things. I didn't know that they tie into diabetes. I thought it was just getting older, right? 53 years old, getting older. So, yes, so you're probably absolutely right. So I probably started at 40, with signs and symptoms, but I just never did anything about it because I thought it's part of getting older, right? So my neuropathy that's the only one that really scared me, my neuropathy, and my IBS scared me because it was like running my life. I was like, I had to be careful while I went. I had to go to the store. I was worried about that, so yes, that staple food in South Asia. So yes, so I appreciate that, Purple. And the more you share, the better. I love to learn what people do and how you avoid it. So I now know I was very carb heavy, unfortunately. My doctor said eat 6 small meals a day, and that's what I did. But I didn't ask what I eat for 6 small meals a day. And I'm an adult. I should have done some research, but I didn't. So I didn't look up what I was supposed to eat. Ronnie, thank you. Flattering will get you everywhere. I'm just kidding. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, so I'm 54 now. So if I started at 53, I'm 54 now, and I have 3 grown children, and I'm very happy, but I feel great. I feel like I'm younger. I feel like I'm in my 40s but I didn't feel that way. Can I show you, Ronnie, what I looked like? Don't be mean to me, okay? Don't say anything mean about my picture, please, because I'm very sensitive. But I want to show you what I looked like when I went to the doctors in June. So I should have probably known this was going to happen, right? But ignorantly, I didn't know. Okay, so this is what I looked like. Okay, so don't be fresh, right? So look how swollen I was, right? This is June, right? So I went to the doctors, and this isn't how much I've changed in that time. I have more weight to go, probably another 20 pounds, but see, this is June, and I have a jacket on because I thought if I wear a jacket, nobody's going to know that I'm overweight, whatever. But my hands are so swollen. My body is so swollen. I had so much inflammation in my body from just what I was eating. My body would eat the carbs. Thank you. But I don't want to go back to her again. I'm grateful for her because it keeps me on, keeps me going, keeps me telling my story, sharing, because if somebody can learn, they can reverse their diabetes naturally. Not everybody knows that. My doctor was not going to share that information with me, that I was able to reverse my diabetes naturally. And that's the biggest part, is that I ate my way to diabetes and I wanted to eat my way out. And I've done that. And I had to just educate myself. I had no idea. I was ignorant to it, right? So I learned quickly that I had to eat better, exercise. And so there was 3 steps that I did. I had like a 3-step reset, right? So I found out in June I was a diabetic, came online, bumped into some people. So here's the thing. I feel like, Ronnie, I am, and I don't take this the wrong way, but I feel like I'm in recovery because I do know that I am in non-diabetic range right now, but I also understand that I can't go back to my old ways, right? Because then if I do, I will be back to being diabetes. So although I reversed it, and I put it under diabetes range at 5.2, doesn't mean I'm going to stay that way, right? So I'm at a crossroads. I could very easily just go back to eating the way I was, and I'm going to be a diabetic again. Or I could go the other way, and stay healthy and stay fit and stay, happy and have my energy back, and no neuropathy, no IBS, no, um, none of that. So that's the other thing. I'm grateful for that. So I don't think you can ever be cured from it, right? Because very easily it says that, so yeah, Purple, I appreciate that, because I don't know the answer to, I don't know if it's hereditary. I know that type 2 that I have, type 1 could be hereditary. Type 2 is, I think the only way it is inherited from the parents is the lifestyle, because that is, type 2 is from too much glucose in your body, too much sugar in your body. It's what I would do is eat my carbs, it'd get into my stomach would put it into my intestines and my liver would shoot it out. My poor cells. So there's two different ways that your cells could look. And I know this is going to sound like a silly analogous, but you can have a plain donut, like a plain donut when you go to the store when there's nothing on it. When you go to Dunkin' Donuts or whatever, it's absolutely nothing on it. It's plain, old fashioned. Or you can have a glazed. Your cells, although I think donut is a funny way to say it, but just to give you something to picture, your cells are supposed to look like the plain donut, not the glazed donut. The glazed donut is all the glucose that I was eating out of my carbs wrapping around my cells. So here's the thing. So there are 3 different types of diabetes. There's type 1, which they do not produce insulin on their own. That is something they're born with. That is something that they don't have control over. It isn't a lifestyle thing. Type 1 is their body doesn't produce insulin, because we need insulin to burn our carbs, to burn our food, to move our food around. So type 1 people, that is something that could be from a child, come when they're older. Type 2, which is a diuretic problem. That is, I ate too many carbs and my body didn't have a place to put it. I have a very sedentary job. I, sit at my desk and work all day. So I wasn't burning any of that off. It was just coming in and it's sitting in my system and it's floating around in my blood, because there's no place to put it. Because like I told you, the donut, which is covered in glaze, right? The donut covered in glaze, your insulin is taking the glucose and it brings it to the cell, and it's knocking on the door and saying to the cell, hey, can I come in and give you energy? This glucose is supposed to give our cells energy, and we have like 37.2 trillion cells in our body. So it takes the insulin takes the glucose and says, hey cell, do you want this for energy? But because it's so covered in glucose, the cell is insulin resistant. It won't let it in. It'll say, no, sorry. So then the insulin kind of panics and sends more insulin. So that's why you have insulin resistance, right? Because it's like, all right, if you're not taking it, your body will give it more insulin to take that glucose and stick it in the cell, and it doesn't go in. So then the insulin, doesn't know what to do with it. So then it brings it to other parts of your body. It'll bring it to your eyes, which is why people go blind when they're diabetic. And also those floaty things, see those black floaty things in your eyes? Those are shot blood vessels in your eyes from insulin resistance in your eyes. So it'll go there, it'll go to your brain, which also is the, yeah, nope, absolutely. I was not exercising. I was eating 6 small meals a day of carbs. I think I might have been okay if I ate if I ate protein and things. I didn't. Very ignorantly, I didn't. So I just had no place to burn it. So it can get into your brain, which is Alzheimer's and dementia, which is type 3 diabetes now. And you can be a dual diabetic. You could be type 1 and type 3, or type 2 and type 3. So diabetes, you think sugar is so sweet and fun, but it's not. It wreaks havoc. So how you become a type 2 diabetic is all of that glucose is in your system, and it has to be stored somewhere. So I became a fat storer, not a fat burner, right? So it would just it goes around your visceral organs, and that's why your organs shut down, because there's fat around it and there's sugar around it, and it floats in your blood. And that's how they tell how your number of diabetes, like your A1C, is they take your blood and they can see how thick it is with the glucose in it. So if it's really thick, they rate you higher. I'm now a 5.2, so I must be, healing all my cells. So the way that I did it, right? So let me tell you the way that I did it. I did it with, I started with exercising. I work out every day. I get up at 4:30, I go to the gym, or I walk and I really feel great. I would do mainly cardio because this was in June of last year. So I started walking, and I would do, I live in a great area where I can just put on my vest and walk around and get some exercise. And then I quickly learned, and this is such a learning curve because I am not a doctor, I am not a nurse, I am just a mom who ate too much to make herself unhealthy, right? So this is how I learned it. So now I learned that muscle is amazing for diabetics or anybody with insulin resistance. You don't have to be a diabetic. You could be a pre-diabetic, type 1, type 2, or anybody that's overweight or anything like that. Muscle training is amazing. One, it gives you a nice, strong core. You want that anyways, for longevity. But your muscles use glucose, which is the sugar that you ate. Your body breaks down the sugar into glucose, uses glucose for your muscles, right? So when you work out, it uses that to burn. So it's amazing for you to do muscle training. So when I go to the gym now, I do a little bit of carbs and more muscle training, and I'm actually enjoying it. I'm not really great at it, but I feel really good. I can feel it in my body. It's getting stronger, and I love that about it because I want to be able to, when we have grandchildren, if my kids give me grandchildren, I want to be able to play and hang out and do things, and so I don't want to. I don't want my body to break down from my old habits, if that makes sense. So the first thing I did is exercising. So, you don't have to go crazy. You don't have to go to the gym. I go to the gym because it's right over the street from my house, over the hill. They have a brand new Planet Fitness, and I completely enjoy it. So that's where I go, over the hill. And I do my cardio and I do my weights. And today my son came with me. I have 3 boys, 26, 24, and 21. I have 3 boys. And so my 24-year-old came with me to the gym, and he taught me some more weights, and he taught me like different machines. There's a ton of machines that I was kind of intimidated by, so I didn't really use them, but I did get to go, and I did enjoy it. So, okay, so the first thing is exercise. The second thing is, even though it's my first time being on your YouTube live, I'm definitely happy for you that you were. Thank you so much, Ronnie. I am new on my channel, so if you happen to go onto my channel, you'll see I have a lot of videos, but I don't have many followers, so I thought I'm not going to know until I try it. It's not going to help until I try it, and I really appreciate you coming, Ronnie. That really makes me happy, and thank you so much. So I go do this journey and I talk about it because I really want to share it with somebody. It doesn't have to be you. We all know. So say you go into a room with 10 people, 7 out of those 10 people are insulin resistant. So that means they're either pre-diabetes, diabetic. Good night. Oh, that's true, Purple. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you come in some other time. Have a great weekend. It's so nice to meet you, and thank you for adding your comments. That means a lot to me. I like to talk to people, but I hope you get some good sleep. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate that. What was I telling you? Oh, so I share my journey because, like I said, 7 out of 10 people, if you walk into a room, are insulin resistant, pre-diabetes, diabetic. It is 93% of Americans or of adults are pre-diabetic, and it is the modern diet. It's what we eat. It's the processed food. It's the too much sugar. It's the fruity like the big fluffy coffees that we have. Like, it's just too much, and our bodies can't do it. So back in when I was little, it wasn't that, because it wasn't like that. We didn't have all the processed foods. We didn't go out to eat all the time. My mom cooked at home. We went out like special occasions. Right now, it's like every corner is a fast food place, right? So, and unfortunately, I didn't make good choices. I'm not blaming fast food places or anything but myself. I didn't make good choices, and this is what happens, right? So, but anyways, that was then, this is now. So this is why I share it, because if it's somebody like an aunt, an uncle, a friend, you'll see signs of somebody that's insulin resistant. They're really swollen, right? That's inflammation in their body, because your body, when you have a lot of glucose in your body thinks there's something wrong. It doesn't know it's just glucose. Yes. So here we go. So here are some symptoms of, Ronnie, we're thinking alike. I was just going to tell you. So symptoms of insulin resistance. So if somebody's really swollen, like say you've known them for 10 years and all of a sudden their face is swollen more, or their hands are swollen and their feet hurt, or their fingers hurt, or they have those skin tags. Skin tags are not an older person thing. That is insulin resistance. You'll see them on their neck, right? Or the coloration on their neck. If they have brain fog, if they have eczema, PCOS, which isn't some, you would have to know them if you knew if they had PCOS, or erectile dysfunction for men. That's ED for men. There's a whole, I mean, there's a ton of it, right? So here's some other ones. So this one is something you may not know, but it's fatigue, especially after eating. And like I was telling you, like after you eat and your body is trying to put the glucose that you ate into your cells, or even protein. So keto diet. All right, let's see. Is, all right, let's see. Is that any better? I hope you can hear me, Ronnie. I hope that it came back on. The little bell is not on, the little bell is not off, like on silent anymore. So hopefully I hope you can hear me. So, okay, so I'm going to keep talking and I hope that you can hear me. I hope people can come back in. I didn't mean to leave, but I didn't know what to do. Thank you. Some reason my bell, I think when I went to say no to that phone call, I hit it, but sorry about that. Okay, so signs are tired, right? Difficulty concentrating, which is the brain fog, because there's sugar in your brain. There's glucose in your brain, so that's why that does it. Increase hunger. If you see somebody that's just snacking all the time, their body's just not getting what it needs because everything's is resisting it, so they just keep eating to think it's going to help, but it's not. They're not hungry. It's just their body's not getting what it needs. So this is why protein's important. When I'll get to that when I eat how I eat on my plate, how the protein helps so much more. And there's a great analogy that a nutritionist gave us on a call. I'm in school for to be a certified nutritionist. So I not that I'm going to do that, but I want to learn about it. But there's one analogist that she said. So think of your diet, what you eat, as a campfire, right? So I don't know if you've ever had a campfire, but think of it as a campfire. So when you eat carbs, yes, that's normal. So a snack a lot and zone out, is that normal or what? So to snacking, well, I used to eat quick. Like if I was just watching TV, I was like, oh, I need to eat something. I don't think that's just like part of my routine that used to be, was like watching TV and eating. So that could be the same idea. But she said it's like a campfire, right? So when you have your logs and then you have the paper on the top, you crumple up the paper, it's like a carb, and you eat it and you throw it to the fire. So it burns great for a few minutes. It's really pretty, it burns high, but then it goes out quickly. That's what carbs are. So when you eat the carbs, they taste great. You feel good for a minute, you feel great, and then it goes out, right? Because then it goes out because it burned quickly. So that's why you want to burn the logs, which is protein. So the protein underneath is what's going to burn longer, and it's going to help you stay in fat burning mode more than the carbs, right? So the carbs are not the enemy. It's just when you eat them. So I take my plate. So, all right. So weight gain, skin tags, dark skin patches on their neck, elevated fasting glucose. That's not something you would know, but PCOS for women, which is tough, and erectile dysfunction for men, low estrogen. So if people have a hard time getting pregnant, that's a sign. things like that. IBS is a sign. There's a lot of different signs. So there's a whole page and a half of them. So it affects everybody differently. Adult acne, bad teeth. It's crazy what insulin resistance can do. So the first thing I did was exercise. And the second thing that I did to heal myself naturally was time restricted eating. I started fasting, right? So I started fasting in June. And so, but I didn't start, right now I do about 17, 18 hours that I don't eat. And I eat within 6 or 7 hours, 2 meals a day. I don't snack any longer. Because to me, there was no good snack. There wasn't a snack I was going to have once. I just would eat too much, right? So I do time restricted eating. So I would start with like 10 hours not eating, 11, 12, work my way up to 16 and 8 was what I was going for a while, but now I'm trying to extend it even more, because the more I extend it, the more my body will heal my cells that I ruined. So 17 hours, like yesterday, I ended up doing about 19 hours of not eating. And it's so great. Like, I didn't think I would ever do that, because back in June when I went for the doctors, I had to go in for blood work. I had to go for fasting blood work. So I went in, but I didn't eat before I went. And I was horrified. I was miserable that I wasn't going to eat for, just for the overnight and to get my test done. The thought of not eating for 17, 18, 19 hours a day, and I'm fine and I'm not hungry. I have 2 great meals and that's all I need. I never would have thought it. I never would have thought it, right? So, but I find the time restricted eating has helped me so much. It helped me lower obviously, I'm no longer diabetic. In 8 months, I went from bad diabetic to a non-diabetic, because it gave my body a chance to heal the cells that it had, use the glucose, because if you're not giving it glucose and sugar and things like, it needs the energy. So it's going to go get it. It's going to get it in your love handles, or it's going to go get it in your organs, wherever you have built up fat. So my body has been able to use the fat that I've had stored. So that's the best part about it. So I have a crutch though. I'm not a superstar by all means, because I don't think I could have done that many hours like I told you. So I have a chlorogenic acid tea that I drink every day. It's about 17 ounces. And it's like a tea that I drink, and it's a chlorogenic acid tea, which keeps in vitamins and minerals, which keeps the food noise down. So I do not think about food all day long. I go to bed, I stop eating so I've already eaten now. I've ate before I came on, but I won't eat again until tomorrow at noontime. So that tea that I drink, I just sip on it all day long. I left it at my desk. I should have brought it to show it to you, but it's just like a lemon tea, and I drink it all day long, and it keeps me from being hungry. And I know when it gets close to being over and done that it's time for me to eat, right? So it's kind of like my crutch. So I have the tea that I drink all day long. And then I also have a fiber. The amount of fiber that you need in your diet to keep your microbiomes, because you have a bunch of microbiomes in your stomach, the amount of fiber that you need to eat, like fiber, like salad, broccoli, whatever it is a lot, right? Especially for my age, right? An older woman, I think it's, I don't even know, 20 grams, whatever it breaks down to, was a little bit more broccoli than I was willing to eat. So I also take a fiber. I take a fiber, like the ones that you can get at the store, the Mucinex and things like that. But I take it's like that. I drink that before I eat, and what it does, it fills up my body, gives my microbiomes, because my gut health was terrible. I had leaky gut at the whole 9 yards, because I wasn't giving it that coating that it needs. So I was having all these. That's what my IBS was. I had a lot of stomach problems. So I don't have that anymore. So it was kind of great. Like in 3 weeks, my IBS started to go away. It was gone in 4 weeks. My A1C, I'm so sorry, my neuropathy, I'm going to say 4 weeks it was gone. I don't know if you know anything about neuropathy, but it's actually breathtaking. It actually hurts so bad. You have tingling in your fingers and your feet all the time. Yes, aloe vera juice. That is pretty. I didn't know that. Aloe vera juice, and does it help you? Yes. So well, I'm glad that helps you. Myself and my daughter-in-law and my son, well, they're not married, my son's girlfriend, I call her my daughter-in-law. She had terrible IBS. She would throw up every single morning, throwing up every single morning. And she went to the doctors. She had the camera put down her stomach, the whole 9 yards. And they just told her, they thought she had Crohn's disease, right? And so she's done the same thing that I've done. She's just changed the way she's eaten. She's focusing on protein, vegetables. She's on the same system that I'm on, the fiber and the tea, and her IBS, or her Crohn's, I'm sorry, is gone. My mom, she had alopecia. I always say it wrong. Alopecia, and her hair starting to grow back. It's just amazing what your diet can do for you. What your diet can totally change us. I can't say it enough. So, and my plate isn't anything crazy, right? So I just don't eat all day long. Until for dinner. I break my fast at noontime or 1 o'clock, whatever time it happens to be, and I'll have eggs at that time. But I have my fiber first. I drink my fiber. It's just in a little container, like the little shaker bottles that you have, with just a little bit of cold water. Shake it, drink it, let it gel up. And it gels up in my stomach, and it gets those microbiomes busy in your stomach so that they're not grabbing at everything that comes in, right? So, and then I have I flip my plate. So I have protein, like, whatever, chicken. I wish I liked fish. I'm jealous if you like fish. I don't, because I know that the fatty fishes are really good for you. I don't like seafood. I wish I did. But I have like a chicken, a steak, turkey, whatever we happen to be having first, right? My protein, actually my fiber first, I'm sorry. Then I'll have my vegetables and my chicken. And I will have carbs, but my carbs are later. My carbs are like after I eat, like a dessert, right? Because I know that protein is in there and my stomach is already digesting the protein in the vegetables and the fiber, right? And the fiber that I drink, it gels up so much that it grabs that carbs and it brings it to my muscles or flushes it out. So I don't eat enough for it to store, because I don't eat that many carbs, but I do eat them. I don't eat that many carbs and I don't eat that much. So I don't have a lot stored. So that works out good, because I will go to the gym and I don't feel tired and I don't feel brain fogged and I don't feel, you know what I mean? Like I feel good about myself. So I guess my point behind my story is you have to listen to your body. Do some research for yourself. Look into time restricted eating. Look into, exercise that's good for you. You just have to research and know what's good for you. I'm older. I bet you I'm a lot older than you, Ronnie. So you probably, would have a different thing. You could possibly, learn what's good for you. Because I would love to catch anybody that, yeah, so that is what Liv was having, my daughter-in-law. The pain, she would throw up. It would be pressure. So it's almost like acid reflux, which is what would be, but I do an easy diet with basic veggies and bread. So maybe it's the carbs in the bread. Maybe try, do you eat any meat? Is tofu? I don't know if you are a vegetarian, that's why you have veggie and bread. Maybe maybe if you could add a little protein, and then that would help with I think that would help with your acid, because it sounds like it's like right under your ribs where you would have acid reflux. I've learned that your sphincter, I know it sounds like a funny word, it gets irritated and it gives you that pain and it gives you like acid reflux. So the problem, and like I said, I completely love my doctor, but they don't have, so I would say recommendations. So I would say, maybe try. I don't know if you can eat, if you like having meat. I don't know if it's if you can have that, but try to have protein in your diet, even if it's, the egg is the most purest protein you could get. Eggs, because it's a one ingredient purest protein you can get. If that works for you, have an egg. I don't know much about tofu, but I think that's a vegetarian version of protein. I think that would be good for you. So I would say you want to get some sort of a fiber in your diet. The one that I do, it's called Balance and Unamate. Those are the two things that I do. The Unamate is a tea that I drink all day long, and the Balance is a fiber that I drink just before I eat. And that fiber might help you coat your stomach so that it doesn't get that, up on your stomach. And that's what helped Liv. That's my daughter-in-law. She would have they said she had Crohn's disease. She does her fiber first and she eats and she feels great and she doesn't have any backlash from it. Like there is no throwing up in the morning. There is no I'm more IBS or any of those things. So possibly try a fiber. Maybe there's just not enough fiber in your diet. So your microbiomes, you could have some issues with your stomach as far as keeping those microbiomes healthy and giving them what they need. I know that the modern diet, they take the fiber out of it. They used to be a lot of fiber in our diet around the 70s. They took all of it out because if you have fiber in your diet, you don't get hungry as fast, right? So you're not looking for more food. Taking the fiber out of our diet makes you hungry. It makes you want to eat more, right? So that is how they got us addicted to food. Tastes good, but it doesn't do anything for our body, so we want more. There's a great show that I saw on it's called Fox Nation. I had to sign up for it. It was like $5, and it's called Toxic, and it was from Julia Michaels from The Biggest Loser. I think that was the name of the show. Biggest Loser, the one where the people lost all the weight. Julia Michaels, the host of that, she hosts this show. It's like a documentary. It's called Toxic, and it talks about how you're never gonna believe this. Okay, so I have so many things to tell you. So back in the day, cigarette companies, when they were no longer allowed to have cigarettes in the restaurants and like accessible, we could have cigarettes. I'm aging myself, but I remember going to a restaurant and there'll be a big cigarette machine there. You could buy them there. When they were no longer allowed to do that, they turned to food. So now our food is run by the same people who run things like that, right? So they took that out of our food. They took the fiber out of our food so that we will eat more because it doesn't fill us up and it tastes good, right? Fiber doesn't taste great, but our body needs it. So it just like I found if I have extra fiber in my body, it makes a difference. So I drink the fiber. You can get it at, I think any drugstore, any store you can get. It's called Beneful, or there's a couple of them. Like I said, I do the one it's called Balance and Unimate. Those are the two that I do. But you can get it and maybe try that. Maybe try just a little fiber before you eat. It'll fill you up and it'll help your stomach. It'll help coat your stomach to make you feel better. And I think like you have to be patient with it though. You got to be patient with it because it's it may not work the first time, but I think you'll slowly feel better. That's my IBS was gone in like 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I would say 2.5 weeks. I started noticing it. 3 weeks it was better. 4 weeks it was gone. I didn't have it any longer, and I didn't have the neuropathy in my fingers. And I don't have the brain fog. My skin tags are gone. It's all just from changing my eating and my exercising. Yeah. So, well, like I said, I'm old, so I'm a lot older than you. But here, they used to have cigarette machines, and you would walk into a restaurant, and there would be like these cigarette machines, and it was like you just put your money in, and you pull you just pull it. It's like a kid's game, right? And the pack of cigarettes would fall out. But that's how we did it in the U.S. You could just go anywhere, and you could buy cigarettes anywhere. And they're so much more money now. They're like, I don't even know how much they are, but you just put in some. So I'm aging myself, but my mom used to be able to write a note saying, please sell my daughter cigarettes. And I would go into the store as a kid and they'd give me my mother's cigarettes. Like, you just think about how crazy it is. And my ex-husband, his mother was smoking in the hospital when she had him, because you could smoke in hospitals. Like, I remember going to restaurants and it was like, do you want smoking or non? I mean, you're in the same building, right? You're sitting, like there's like a little divider between a smoking family and a non-smoking family. Like just the stuff that we've done. Like I think back to it, how I have even survived this long. But this is why we're Gen X, right? This is why they call us Gen X, because we've lived through it all, right? So we've seen it all. So anyways, that was that. So that's really what I wanted to go through with you. I just wanted to share my story with you, like a game. Yeah, so you can just like about the limited cigarettes or something. So it's I don't know. It was like a game. Like it wasn't a game, but like you could just put money in and you could pull a lever and the cigarettes would come out like a dispenser, right? So that's what it was. It wasn't really a game, but you know what I mean? Like it was just that easy to get cigarettes. You could just put money in and you pull a lever, a pack of cigarettes come out, and then you just walk away with your cigarettes. Nobody's there watching it. Any kid can go get cigarettes. I don't know, but it was crazy. But I'm just saying, like, so they no longer could do that. That was stopped. So they started pouring their money into food, how to change the modern diet, because they needed people to be addicted to food, because they need you to be sick, because they need you to, and people have told me, my doctor didn't tell me about any of this, how to make myself healthy. on, with my eating because I'm not a customer. I don't have any medication. I didn't pick up my medication or my pills or my shot. So I did it naturally. So I'm not a customer for them. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like I said, I love my doctor and I'll go see her about anything. She just doesn't believe that I can reverse my diabetes on my own. Even with the results, she saw my blood work. She said that I'm just, she said you're just gonna you're diabetic forever. And she's probably right. But my body is non-diabetic now, and I want to keep it that way. And I know thousands of people that have had stories of that just by what you eat. Because I ate my way to diabetes, and I quickly learned how to eat my way out. And 8 months is not a long time for me to reverse that. Especially like you said, that you starts when you're young. 10 years of me beating the snot out of my body or more, my liver finally said, forget it, I can't do it anymore. And so I ended up becoming diabetic. But, you know, um, that it just, it's amazing what your body, because your body doesn't want to be broken. Your body doesn't want to feel sick or, to be hurting. So, it was very easily I felt it right away. Like muscle memory is a thing. Like I didn't go to the gym that much for a while, but when I went back, I just like my body just picks up where it left off. So and again, I'm nothing fancy. I'm just a mom who works at home. I work behind my desk. I'm there all day, on the computer working for my company. So I don't have that. I don't have that activity. So but now I do. It's the first thing I do. And I don't even eat. So that's the part that blows my mind. I get up at 4:30, I go to the gym, I work out, I come home, I take a shower, do dishes, do laundry, whatever I have to do, and then I start working at 7:30 and I work a half a day of work before I even eat my first meal. I never would have thought that. So, but I have to say my tea is what does it for me. It keeps me from being hungry. And it's just tea. There's nothing in it. It's just tea. Well, I mean, it's chlorogenic acid tea, so it's a little bit different than like regular tea, but it does help me out so much. But so that's it. So I'm just happy that I got to talk to you guys, and I hope that you learned something. And I would love to. You know what? I'm going to tell you, I don't even know. I don't even know if I can follow you. Oh, oh no. I look like I got bit by a mosquito. I was that big. No, you know what, Ronnie? I 100%, I'm sorry that happened to you. So you must be allergic to mosquitoes, right? Like for that. So that's sad that I look like I got bit by a mosquito. I'm sorry that happened to you. Does it happen to you every time you get bit? Like an allergy to it? I'm going to show you another picture then. I have to keep doing the passcode in this thing. Hold on. I'll show you another picture. All right. So this picture, where is it? Okay, so this one is also in June. Okay, so be nice. See how puffy I am there? Again, a coat on, because I think you can't tell I'm fat if I have a coat on. So I have my coat on, and my hands in my belly. See that? That's terrible. I just can't even believe I went out like that. And this one was, when did I take this one? And this is just how much I've changed already. Like everything's thinning out. Like I said, I got more weight to go, but everything's thinning out. And I have the energy that I didn't have, so it's such a good feeling. Who wants to look like that? I look so much older. I feel like I look so much older then. I don't know. I don't want to feel like that again. Oh yeah. So so you have what type of blood is sweet blood? Is it like a A or a B, or is it just, because my son has a friend that says the same thing. He's like, I always get bit by mosquitoes. I have sweet blood. So that must be a thing. I didn't really realize that was a sweet thing, but it makes sense. It makes complete sense what that would be. And I'm so sorry. You couldn't come over here. Where do you live? Do you live in the United States? I live in Massachusetts. And in the summertime, we get pummeled by mosquitoes. If we don't treat our yard, we get pummeled by mosquitoes. So I couldn't have you come over here because you'll be eaten alive in the summertime. But I do love where I live. I live by the water, in New Bedford. It's like the whaling city is what they call it, because it was like the place where they used to have whales back in the day. Like that's how it started. So I hope that you will be okay. You know, I hope that that doesn't happen to you again. Um, if there's any answer, anything I can help with you, I think that I can get messages in YouTube. I'm so new at it, so I don't really know. And I think that I can follow you. I don't even know that either. So I'm going to look for you and see if we can connect. Subscribe, is that what it's called? No, I think that's great. No, it's not controversial at all, Ronnie. I am happy to connect with you. You're very, very nice, and I appreciate you spending time with me. What time is it there in Israel? Is it, because it's nighttime here. It's 6:40 at night. I know my clock is wrong. We had daylight savings time last week, and I didn't. Well, this last weekend I forgot to change my clock, so don't look at my clock. But I hope that you're safe. I hope that you're okay in Israel. Not controversial at all. And I'm glad that we're friends. Oh, so it's like midday to you. Yeah, so it's 6:42 here. So 6 hour difference at nighttime. I have to go feed my kids. I haven't fed them yet. I just came on. I had my dinner early. They don't like to eat that early. And then I just came on because I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try YouTube Live. See if I can figure it out. I've just been afraid to do it. So I'm grateful that it worked out. And I'm grateful that I met you. And I'll try to follow you or however it goes. I'm not sure how that goes. But I do know it was great to talk. I thank you so much. And please reach out to me. Try some changes. See if it helps your stomach. I don't want you to be sick. I don't want your stomach to hurt. You don't deserve that. You deserve to feel better and feel good, and do what you want. But I'm going to go feed my kids. And I hope you have a good rest of your day, Ronnie. Happy weekend. And I'd like to connect, and I'd love to follow you and see if how you feel, if you're able to do some eating changes and feel better about yourself. But I appreciate you guys very much, and I hope that you have a good rest of your weekend. Thank you so much.